Hey, that's good, chat. Got a lot of. Yeah, I'll just set my phone up to enable my school email. So, getting a whole bunch of emails from all my stuff because, you know, semester starting. Anyways, we're back! More Final Fantasy IV! It's a remaster. Not clear that patient. Yeah. I don't have anything to start. So I think let's just go right into it, honestly. Yeah. I can't think of anything to bring up. Just go right into it. Plus this will work out because I'll be able to... Audio levels will be a little bit different. But we'll be the same song. Alright, so we need to... Actually, before we go anywhere, we need to do this number. My eyes, I can't see. Who is there? Don't let them take the treasure. But I see. Aha. A feathered cap and a crossbow. A ruby ring. I don't know why I'm doing. Yeah, rookie treasure hunter. That's kind of nice. Could be 6 chests here, which there are. 3 items. A needle, eye drops, antidote, potion, ether, and a field. There we go. That's all the items here. That's the thing we need to do really quickly is just get all that stuff. And then we can actually head on out now. Oops. My bad. Alright. Ugh. Now, if I remember correctly, we're in the Antlion caves. Or Antlion's dead. Which we need to head across the shallows. I don't really know what that is. I'm guessing this is the shallows. And that's probably the Antlion den. Oh, and that's because it is. Cool. We got a pretty straightforward dungeon here. Got 13 chests, so we'll make sure we get those. There's one right next to me. There's a bunch of them all over. Okay. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them on this first floor. They look relatively easy to get to. Yeah. Should be a relatively straightforward dungeon overall, and they typically are. So I'm not that concerned. Actually, before we go too deep, I guess. Equip. Oh, probably because the crossbow's like a two-handed thing. Less physical, more magic, but it's like evasion. Worry about it. You have a feathered cap. Edward here, Dreamer's harp, that's fine. Ruby ring. I'll give you the iron armlets. Leather garb is only ever so slightly better, so that's fine. And have better view. And Cecil. Cecil. Making sure we're good. Alright. But Edward cannot use magic. Oh, because he's got Sing, okay. Which is probably like... Honestly, it's probably going to be similar to Final Fantasy III's. Well, Sing. Goblin! We'll use Darkfall. And Sing has no effect. Okay. Youch. Oh yeah, Edward's like kind of on the weak side, huh? I didn't even think about that. Well, he'll catch up real fast in this dungeon, more than likely. The free potion. Cool. So I'm gonna go down and up for those two, but I also need to go across to get that one and then head down. Alright. Thankfully, dungeons in these games are usually pretty straightforward. There's usually not much going on that's like, oh, you need to worry about this. It's usually like, just go forward. You'll find it. Got a free golden needle. Love to see it. A potion. Some goblins. Missed. You're not supposed to miss, Edward. Sorry, just making sure everything a relatively short done. The Domovoi, whatever that is. Lol, get slapped. Hey, Edward, leveled up again, level 7. We got a 10th off of the goblins? I mean, hey, I'll take it. Pushing. I'm unfortunately, like, unable to think of, any kind of, like, conversation thing right now. I have been playing more Spider-Man. I did find out as well. So, I mean, I didn't actually look it up, but I've been getting recommended clips from some of the old Spider-Man shows. I say old. I think actually one of them is like the most recent Spider-Man show. But I got hit with some clips from it, and you were the one that was in fact Spider-Man. And at least one animated Spider-Man TV show, which I kind of already knew. Okay, gotta come back up. Which looks like won't be too hard to do. Open. Okay. That staircase there probably leads us back up the door. We got 3 chests on this floor. Okay. Pretty hard to not run. Some goblins. Like basilisks have pretty decent magic resistance. Antarctic wind. Okay, what's in here? A singular chest. Lamia's heart. I will take it. The first like actual equipment item. I gotta say, there's a small part of me that misses this kind of RPG design, because you don't really see this anymore. Like, RPGs aren't really made this way anymore. Like, the dungeon layouts aren't really like this anymore. And there's a small part of me that does miss it. This kind of like, you go into a dungeon and you find equipment, and that equipment is, you know, for particular characters, it makes them better. But this just doesn't really exist anymore. Like, it does, but I don't know, something about it just is... Oh. Cool. Found our little halfway point. Emergency exit. I'll gladly use a tent right now. Rydia kind of came in with pretty low mana, so it'll be nice to get her some of her back. As far as everything else, though, about that stuff. I'm just making sure I'm slightly ahead. So I do kind of know a little bit about what's coming up, but not enough that I, like, am absolutely spoiled to the point that there's no joy to be had. Cool. Right? I just want to be somewhat surprised, but I also need to make sure that I know what's going on so I can kind of keep moving. Oh. Yellow jealous. Need to hit these goobers with some thunder. Okay. Hey, Edward, level 10. Nice job. I don't know. It's a little weird. Because they really, like, I feel like you really don't see RPGs designed this way anymore. Like RPG dungeons aren't really like this anymore. That's fine. Arguably, newer RPGs have better systems in place for dungeon design. They're a little bit better made, but I don't know. I personally kind of like these kinds of, or this kind of gameplay cycle. Okay, sorry, that seemed weird. I felt the need to explore it. Oh, we got everything. Okay, never mind. We can just book it. That's my bad. Okay. I didn't realize I had already found everything. Miss Edward. I actually still don't know if bard weapons are considered ranged for the purposes of throw. Because it is like such an oddly specific thing to question. But arguably I should just be using Sing anyways, but you know. Well, I think we found where the Antlion lives. So the Antlion lays its eggs. I don't remember the voice I gave to Edward. Oh my goodness. He kind of kept swapping around. It's okay, Antlions are quite tame. They don't attack people. Here, we'll demonstrate by taking the sand ruby, like so. Ah! Come on, we have to help him. Yep, they definitely don't do that, huh? Alright. Music in this game is great. Counter horn. So that's gonna be a big thing here, is this guy, every time you hit him, he counterattacks. He doesn't care, he just does it. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if there's anything specific I need to do. Okay. A Chocobo, do some healing. Chocobo kick. Actually does pretty good damage. Duh! Counter horn. Duh! I love the music. I'm sorry. I get so invested in it. I'm a big fan of music in all media. I have for the longest time been someone who believes that music and audio in general is arguably the single most important thing to any form of media being good. Meaning, you know, like if a video game has great audio design and great music, it will carry the game a lot more than anything else. Arguably, gameplay is the most important thing, but I would argue music is still just as important with audio in general. But primarily music, right? Like as long as the gameplay is fun, it doesn't need to be like over the top, enjoyable. Good music will do a lot for a game, in my opinion. Obtained the Sand Ruby. Now we can save, what's her name? Rosa. How could this happen? They've always been totally harmless. Monsters are growing in number of late. Their behavior is changing as well. I can't help but feel this is some kind of sign. Come on, let's go kill Rosa. Right, let's go. I could walk all the way out of here. Or I could, oh no. Never mind. Well, warp is fine. Take us to the previous floor. I'm curious if that'll take us to the next, like, the room before us. Okay. So if I use it again, so pretty much it's just going to be take you to the last floor, or the last room. Until you get taken out of the dungeon. Alright, you know what? That didn't help. We'll just walk out. It's... Edward, could you... Leshy? What is this inscription? If you have no idea what inscription is, that probably makes no sense. Don't worry about it. I actually really want to play Inscription. I have it. I haven't started it yet, but I don't think I've even installed it yet. Maybe we'll do that sometime soon, too. Maybe after some of the Final Fantasy stuff is done, we can do some Inscription. That seems like a really neat game. I like the card game mechanics of it. I've seen Markiplier play a good chunk of it. And I'm like somewhat tempted to stop watching Mark play it until I play it, so I can stop being spoiled a little bit. That's the sum of what goes on in that game. But I just really enjoy watching it. It's such a fun time. I don't know why that thing decided to turn backwards, but, you know, whatever. I assume it was probably going to run away, maybe? Alright, nope, wrong button. I mean, I can get, like, the nice thing about this, like, floor here, is the design of it is, like, you can kind of just leave it from anywhere. You can get to anywhere from here. Preemptive strike. Darkness. But I'm definitely very interested in it. The actual, like, card game portion of it seems like a lot of fun. I'm always down for some fun card games. Reminds me, I need to play more Legends of Runeterra. I have not been playing it very much lately. And I love Legends of Runeterra. It's such a fun game. Okay, so I need to head back to... not Baron. I need to head back to Kaipo, right? Yeah, all the way back to Kaipo. And then, yeah. We want to go this way. Oh, no, we want to go over here, it looks like, yeah. Kind of hover over here, which will take us pretty much right back to Kaipo, huh? It is right here. Yeah. Oh, I can actually go over that? That's cool. Oh, there we go. Back and... wait. So before we do anything, I'm actually going to hit up the... on the 50 guild to stay the night. Good night. We'll go ahead and give the Sand Ruby over to Rosa. Alright. Now, if I remember right, Rosa was here, up at the top right. Yes. Rosa. Bomber. Rosa is exposed to the light of the Sand Ruby. But it's such an oddly specific door. Like, you just, like, shine a light from this ruby on someone, and then they're healed from this... Oh. Cecil. You're alive, thank goodness. How do you feel? I'm fine. I thought I'd lost you. Tell me you died in mist when the earthquake hit. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Rosa. Who's Golbez? He's the new captain of the Red Wings, appointed by the king himself. But the king has been acting strangely. Chief Golbez is manipulating him to collect the crystals for himself. With my city as water crystal in hand, he'll surely go after the others. The fire crystal of Damsian, the wind crystal of Fable, and the earth crystal of Troya. Sure. The fire crystal's already fallen into his hands. Ah, let me introduce you. Edward is the Prince of Damsian. Rydia is a summoner from Mist. I wouldn't have been able to get the Sand Ruby and cure your fever without their help. Hi there. Hello, Rydia. Thank you both so much. Cecil after Damsian. Bubble. Or Cecil after Damsian. Bubble must be their next target. We must... You're at the rest now. Don't worry. We'll go to Fabul. The tread of Fabul is blocked by thick ice. Rydia, can you cast fire? No. Fire is one of the most elementary of black magic spells. As a summoner, you... Rosa, stop. You're in no condition to come with us. I'll be alright, really. But my honor as a white mage, I promise I won't be a burden. That's probably all my honor, Rosa only wishes to be with you, Cecil. Alright. Go together. Make sure you get plenty of rest tonight. Thank you. White Mage Rosa has joined the party. We did it. We've expanded our party that night. Oh, Edward. Very nice song. Oh no, I miss you so much. Hi. Ah! We still hugging. Edward! Oh no. Must fight, Edward! He is. Believe in yourself. Oh no. Oh dang. We're getting a lot of experience there for free. Oh no. This can't be. Let's leave this world for a better place. No, don't go. I can't without you. No. Oh no. No. Mustn't let Golbez have the crystals. Fight for your people. Care for them as you did for me. Ah. Yes, I'll do it. I'll fight. But how can I stop him? I don't know what I should do. All set. Let's go. Exterminate! Alright. So, we need to head to the wonderful city of Fabul. Before we do that, though, where was the general store? Let's try to make sure we're stocked up on stuff. The city had one, right? I guess, was it in the inn? With it, sir? Yeah, you were the general store, right? Yes. Okay. Looking decent on potions. We got a couple of tents. Oh my god. Okay. I have a couple of those too, just in case. I got a decent amount of Phoenix Downs. Yeah, I think I'll get a couple more potions. And there's not particularly any like armor or weapons we can get from any of these cities. I don't think that will matter. I mean, I guess we should probably check to make sure there's nothing for Rosa. That animation. Oh, she's using a bow current. Okay. In that case, we can check her equipment for... Oh, you should be in the back. You should 100% be in the back. Why does it do that? I don't want it to do that. I want to select specific people so that they are in different... Oh, it all makes sense. Okay. I guess I'll put radio. Ursula's got the bow, so she kind of really does need to be in the back. So. Then we'll go to equip her stuff. She should take the crossbow and leave the holy arrow. Bonus damage. Just to make sure we're good there. Feather tunic. I'll check out the item or the armor shop real quick as well. And we'll see what we have here. There's like a better shirt for her, I think. Okay, so those three are all good. We can actually go in here as well. We don't need like the dark armor. I'll sell one. Honestly, we're not really hurting on money, so I'm not going to worry about selling stuff too much right now. Like, I could sell the dark armor, but you never know. Alright. So it's usually using a hovercraft. Alright. We need to head kind of back up to where we were a little bit. How you would know where to go, I have no idea. And then kind of up on this side, I think? Other side? What's the problem? The northeastern. Sorry. And then top northeastern bit of the landmass. Have to go across the shelves to them. So probably like over here then. Ah. This we're looking for? Mount Hobbs, west entrance. Yes. Cool. Rita, can you try casting the fire spell? What's wrong? Give it a try. I know you can do it. No. I hate fire. That's right. Our village was destroyed by fire when... Rydia, you're the only one who can melt this ice. If we don't go to Fabul, more people will be in danger. Please, Rydia, time to be brave. Time to be brave. Please, Rydia, you must! Fire! Pew! She did it. Rydia has learned fire. I mean, I feel like technically it's not that she learned fire, she kind of already knew it. Rydia, that was incredible. I knew you could do it. Thank you, Rydia. Like, it's not that she didn't know how to do it, she just actively chose not to do it because of trauma and such. Okay, cool. Sorry. Okay. We want to come here because this will take us to some bombs, and they ambushed us. Ow. Ow. Stop beating up my bard. Oh, putting Rydia in front might not be a good idea here. Upon further examination. Ray? Oh. Alright, cool. There's our safe area. Got a whole bunch of chests here. Needle. Oh no! Cockatrices. Oh. Those things are actually kinda scary. Song of Enticement. Oh, interesting. If like turned against each other. Rosa learned life. That's great. I'm glad that Rosa's learned how to have a life. How many chests? Sorry, there's one more somewhere. It's not here, so it's probably over. Well, we can go ahead and tent up, I guess. I mean, I guess how are people looking? Like, yeah, we're not really missing too much. But I guess let's not even bother them. Let's just keep going. Skillamans. Lullaby. I see. So the song is like completely random. Okay. These things have a lot of health, actually. A lot more than I thought they would. Jeez, it did so. Oh, you know, yeah, because it's a holy arrow. That's why I did so much. I forgot she had holy arrows. Alright, cool. Oops. Yeah, so let me just head over on this side and keep going on. Yep, there's the chest. Another holy arrow. Cool. Some bombs. Actually, I don't know what to do with that. Let's see how pray works. Let's see what that does. I assume it's just a big heal. Prayer unanswered. Okay, never mind. I guess it just doesn't do anything. No. It might do some stuff. Maybe I have to do some more. So that, I don't know. So, in Final Fantasy VI, hey, it was Restoring Protect. That's actually really good. One of the skills that a character has. What's going on here? I'll get to that in a second. Is that a monk? Yeah. Dar. He's one of Fabul's monks. Yeah. Dang. He kinda crazy. Yeah. Actually, we might have something like that with Yang here. So in Final Fantasy VI, or maybe not, one of the main party members actually has a ability where you have to do inputs in order to actually get something out of it. And I believe the game tells you what they are as you progress through it, but I'm pretty sure you can do like pretty much all of them at any time. And so you kind of have to know what they are. When I say inputs, I mean like actual input, some legit fighting game input kind of stuff. Good grief, that's no normal bomb. We have to help him. What up, Yang? We're here to help. I guess. Gerd? Let me do a focus. Energy stored for double attack power. Ah, so aim is like a bow thing. Okay. Like a bow skill, I guess. Oh, I love this music so much. Whoa! That's big. Chocobo kick. I'm gonna blow. I don't like the sound of that. Oh, whoops, I did not mean to do that. Oh man, having so many party members is so difficult. You have to manage so much now. Keep on top of everything. I'm like constantly having to like react to who gets their thing first. Cool. We did it. Rosa learned Kiora. Nice. Pretty solid spell. And all of that, I didn't even look at what was going on with this. Alright, yeah, get that. Okay. You have my gratitude. Yang is my name. I'm the High Monk of Fabu. I came here to train with my men. All were killed by a swarm of beasts. They were Fabu's finest monks. My name is Cecil. We bring urgent news to Fabu. A fellow named Golbez is using Baron's power to seize the world's crystals for himself. Then he covets our wind crystal as well. There's no doubt, he already took the crystal of Damsian with ease. Fabu may be next to fall. When the odds are against us, the only monks left in the castle are students. They stand little chance against Baron's forces. I'd assumed Golbez was behind— oh, the monster attack. It almost killed you. Our assault is imminent. I must go. We will go with you to Fabu. You may need our help. I am grateful. However, this matter does not concern you. It concerns us all. You see, I am a prince of Damsian. Rosa and I are citizens of Baron, and this girl is but one victim of our kingdom's recent attacks that I myself led. I see, and I humbly accept your assistance. Let's go. We haven't much time. Fabu lies to the east of these mountains. Monk Yang has joined the party. We got ourselves a monk! And our party is actually full now, which is kind of neat to see. We have a full party. Can I not actually like examine what things are? I guess not. So I wanted to see what Gurdy. Alright, do the classic. We'll check his stuff. Yeah, that's fine. And removing it does nothing but reduces it. So we will not worry. Cool. We got all the chests, so we can head on out. Yeah, we can just head out this way. Oh no! Gargoyles. Okay. Cool. And with our monk, we have a pretty rounded out party yet. Ooh, airship still over. Not our airship, our hovercraft. Needle. Oh, jeez. Needle. No, Yang. Okay. Well, we know Cura, so we'll go ahead and cast that a couple of times. There's only one way for me to go, huh? Through the woods. Probably over underneath the mountains here would be my guess. It's not hard to tell, so. No effect. Darkness. They're all dead. Hey, Yang's catching up a little bit too. Man, I sure can't believe that Yang from hit Rooster Teeth series Ruby is catching up in levels here. Is that football? I don't actually know. Needle. Ouch. Hey, Rosa leveled up. I'll check it out. Minor spoiler, there's actually not any issue with just walking straight in. Which you might think there would be. Master Yang, the king wishes to see you. Would... I feel like... Alright. Maybe I'm the idiot. But I feel like a place that is an entire kingdom of monks probably wouldn't have a king. Maybe I'm the fool. Right, but why would they have a king? Again, maybe I'm the idiot here, and I just don't understand. But I feel like they wouldn't have a king, you know? Like, it seems like they would probably have, like, maybe like a headmaster, like a grandmaster or something, but they wouldn't have... Yeah. We could buy different elemental claws. But first things first, we're gonna buy the full demon set for Decent here. And we can grab some different element claws here. I'll actually grab one of every one. Now, equipping them is interesting. They're not gonna, like, do anything particular? I have to equip them on the left hand. But it does give us, like, double element damage here, right? So we can get fire and lightning hits in. Might actually not be a bad idea about it to get 2 of every one of them. Not super expensive, and we can sell some old armor and stuff. At this point, I'm going to sell the Hades dark armor. And so we can kind of... Oh, yeah, no, yeah, so we can kind of just, like, have one element, and you can attack with both of them. Right, so you can, like, really go all in on fire, go all in on thunder, ice, or have a mixture of the two. I think that's fine. I think that makes a lot of sense. Oh, yeah, what was your armors? What's the demons? Okay. That's where we are with that. Cool. Okay, yep. We already rested up. And so we need to head in and talk to the king. There are 7 chests in. I have seen the location of none of them. Cool. Honestly, they're probably open like these towers and stuff. Same with the item. We're gonna do a quick peek around here. Oh, are you a dancer? You wanna see me dance? Sure. What the? Yeah. Alright. Yeah. I, I, this is the King's Chamber. Well, that's Hawaii. Honestly, I do not understand the point of any of that. I don't get it. Why is it a thing? Zeus's wrath. Potion, Antarctic wind, bomb fragment. That looks like it's a secret door. Well, how do you wish to change your name? Very well. I'm okay. We'll just use all the default names. I have no issue with that. Okay. Sorry, I'm just making sure we're getting stuff here. We're missing 3 chests and like, you know. That certainly looks like it's a door. Yang, at last you have returned. Sire, we must prepare for battle. They are disposed to attack and steal our crystal. How do you know? These 2 citizens of the Baron, they came to warn us. And the others? Sire, we haven't much time. The castle's defenses must be tightened immediately. Yang, we trust this Dark Knight and his companions. I believe so. They risked their lives to help me. We must hurry. Please. It's an honor to see you again. Prince Edward! Sire, Baron's fleet decimated Damsian and claimed our crystal not too long ago. Died. I accidentally advanced it by moving the joystick. I understand. Forgive my suspicions. Yang, mobilize the men for battle. Prince Edward, Dark Knight, will help us defend Fabul? Yes, of course. They've already offered to help, sir. Higher. We will join the forward guards by the main gate. Very well. The mages assist our medic. Yes, sire. Fabul's fate rests in your hand. We be victorious, as you command. We'll assemble at the main gate. Cecil. Back safely. Lydia, take care of Rosa for me. Lydia, take care of Rosa for me. Ooh, so we won't have any of the mages with us. I mean, we have a bard, but... Here they come! Attack! Alright, so just like with before, we gotta beat up the captain here. Just in case. We gotta make sure he goes down. Charge! Ouch. Oh, cool. Alright, that's all we needed. Not necessarily that we like need to kill the captain first because of confusion or anything like that, but just for bestiary entry stuff. Because the captain may or may not get included on the engagement. The Red Wings! We can't hold them back. Retreat into the castle. You're severely outnumbered. Should not have let you help. This is our fight too, and it's far from over. They're coming! Duh! Sahagin, Domovoy, and Leshy? That's so weird. Lullaby! Yes. Like, why are monsters coming in here? No, like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Perhaps that has something to do with what's going on in the kingdom. I don't actually know. I think there's something weird here, right? Fall back! Isn't the throne hall just behind us? We must hold them here. The king has already retreated to safety with the women and children. It's our duty to lure the enemy away. And crush them. Alright. This time we can actually not worry about it. We've already killed the captain, so... Retreat! So it's not that big of... As long as we kill a captain. Let's get out of here! Damn you, Baron. The door's bolted. We can make our last stand here. Where's the crystal cap? In the vault above here. The door has been unlocked. You fool! What are you doing? He's one of them. Nani? Why is he a gargoyle? That's right, get out of here. That's what you get, you betrayer. More. Kick. Darkness. Heal. Beat him up. I love the ATB system. It's so fun. A little stressful, but it's very fun. We are outnumbered. Let's draw to the vault. Ah! Edward! It'll save you, friend. You will not die on our watch. I don't know if we know what watches are yet. Charge. Ooh, nice. Fans attack us for the funny number. Yeah, you sure you want this now, Captain? Oh, you sure? You sure you want to be here? I don't think you do. I think you want to retreat. But I'm not gonna let you. Correct. Idiot. This is it. The final stand. This is the crystal room. Oh. It's been a while. Kane, you're alive. So it would seem. We'll talk later. For now, we have some fighting to do. Indeed. Are you ready to face me, Cecil? What are you saying? Ready your sword. Kane? Ready your sword, fool! No. No! Why do this? Save your breath. The madman jumped on me. I don't want to kill you, King. What's happened to you? You ask too many questions. Wow, stop jumping on me. This. Wow, I feel like it's doing progressively more and more damage. This. This is it, Cecil. I'm not actually dead, but... Has Golbez poisoned your mind too? Do you have any final words? Stop! No! Rosa! Cain, you of all people. No, I... Why do you hesitate, Cain? Oh, is this Golbez? Golbez! So you're Golbez. And you must be Cecil. Never hesitate to kill Cain. Now see how it is done. Cecil! No. Silence! Yo, is Cecil actually about to die? Oh no, oh jeez! Edward and Yang! Cain, get the crystal. Yes, sire. Cain, please. Rosa, no. Oh, is this woman important to you? I must take her with me to raise the stakes. Until we meet again. Come, Cain. Wow, she did not last very long in our party, huh? We won't be so lucky next time. I will probably give Golbez a much more evil voice later, but... I don't know. Wait. Cure! Oh, we're all alive. Feeling better? I think, Eurydia. Crystal is gone. I have failed. Rosa is gone too. So we had to go help her and get the crystals back while we're at it. She's right. There's no time for moping. Cecil, it is our turn to assist you. But for now, let us heal our wounds. Thank you. Well, lost the crystal. After all of that, we still couldn't quite keep it. Unfortunate. Well. Found some Hermes shoes. The king rests in his chamber. He suffered some injuries during the attack. I wonder what this do. Spider Silk Demon Shield Aether. That's like the first shield we found, actually. We haven't seen a new shield literally since the beginning of the game. That's kind of cool. Nice to see a new shield. Is that everything? Yes, it is. Right. Well, we did it. Yeah. Useful stuff. Cool. Pick one item and where can I chocobo for? I think I chocobo for this later. Yeah. Alright. So now I'm just making sure our party's in proper order. Now we'll rest at the end. Master Yang, you may rest here to please let me know if you're eating. Oh yeah. I'll rest here now. It's free! So how will we go about the battle? To fight Golbez, we'll need an airship. The Baron is the only kingdom that has them. We must sneak into Baron and borrow one. Baron's main force is the Red Wings, so its naval power is relatively weak. Might be able to slip in via water. And we need a boat. I will ask the king for a ship tomorrow morning. Thank you. By the way, who was that dragoon? His name is Cain. Used to be my best friend. For the man I... Perhaps you will find your answer soon. For now, we should rest. Tomorrow. Oh. I see. I will arrange for a ship right away. Right away. Gang, accompany Cecil and help him in any way you can. Cecil, take this sword. It belonged to a dark knight who came to Fabul many years ago. The sword exudes tremendous force, still a weapon of darkness. Darkness can never prevail over true evil. I have every faith that you will slay Golden. Receives Deathbringer. Oh boy. Sorry, I couldn't help myself when I saw the name of it was Deathbringer. Alright. Go to the harbor to the east as soon as you are prepared. A ship awaits you there. Bulbers must be stopped. If he acquires all of the crystals, the world will be thrust into an unprecedented crisis. I'm counting on you. No problem, King. Well. Shadowblade? We're here for Deathbringer. A sword that will do nothing but bring death upon my enemies. Anyways. There we go. With all of that, that's everything we can really do here. I need to go downstairs. I think I went the wrong way there. Alright. And with that, now's a pretty good time to save. You can see the boat over there right now. And that's where we need to go. So, we're going to the high seas. Alright, well, let's head over the boat. Yang's way. Good luck, y'all. Take care of yourselves and kick some backside for me. With pleasure. Keep the chin up, Cecil. We'll get her back in no time. We'll do our best. I trust you will look after everything in my stead. You bet. Well, have you big lunkhead. He do kind of be a lunkhead. Man. Oh, you must be Cecil. I heard you smacked the hell out of those Baron lovelies. Sit back, matey, and enjoy the ride. Anchors away! Aye, aye, Captain. Out onto the high seas. I have no control over this, by the way. This is just the game doing this thing. They're voting for it. Captain? What will we do once we arrive at Baron? We'll have to meet Sid, Baron's chief airship engineer. He'll help us. I only hope the man you speak of is safe. He should be. Are you cold? You're shaking. I'm fine. It's nothing. I don't trust that, Bruce. I don't trust that. You're being a little sussy baka, right? He's probably just maybe a little seasick. What's going on? That's a big fish. Shiver me timbers! Holy mackerel! The ruler of the deep? No. It's Leviathan. Oh, jeez. Everyone's freaking out. Change course. Rydia! Yang. Edward. Oh my god. I cannot believe it. I don't know what that was. Oh, oh. Where am I? Video? Edward? Yang? Where is everyone? Well, I would just like to point out that in this guide here, it says, it seems like poor old Cecil and crew just can't catch a break. This is what they get for starring in the most story-driven Final Fantasy so far, I guess. Alright, so we're back in control. We're in a new place. And recommended that I grind a little bit. Okay. So, there's a town here. We're just gonna go right to town. I'm not gonna worry about it. Yeah. My Cydia. Yeah. You've heard a lot about this town. And it certainly isn't because we literally came here and laid waste to everyone. We took their crystal at the beginning of the game. What can I do, Yeehor? Might actually pick up some of those. Let's see. Oh, no. Wizard's hat, guy again. There's a lot of good. There's the light armor set. I'm not gonna worry about yet. Some of it's just so expensive. I think we'll wait. I think we'll wait on buying stuff. We don't want to do a little bit of grinding. But we're in town. Alright. Gotta go talk to the elder. Inside this building is the Devil's Road. It's all the way to Baron. Incident. Understandable. A dark night from before. Have you returned? My name is Cecil. Okay. I'm the former commander of the Red Wings. At that time, I didn't have the courage to go against the King's orders. Wars would not bring back our dead. However, I see that you have changed. Perhaps it would not be a waste of my time to hear what you have to say. We are fighting a man named Golbez, who has somehow risen to power in Baron. However, my companions and I were attacked by Leviathan on our way to rescue a friend from Golbez's clutches. Perhaps this is a test and you must prove yourself worthy. However, you've come to rely too much on your dark soul. It will only lead to the darkening of your soul. Wish to fight with purity, you must head to Mount Ordelos to the east. There, you may find, is where your fate lies. But my friends are in danger. I can't waste any time. I see your friends mean much to you, but you must not be impatient. Destined to a great fate. You must go to Mount Ordelos and transform your dark sword into one of light. Those who accept the holy light will become paladins. Many have journeyed to Mount Ordelos, but none have returned. You still wish to go? I feel I must. Very well. The journey will be dangerous for a lone dark knight. I will have two mages accompany you. Palom, Porom. You called for us? Where is Palom? Palom, come back this minute. The only man to help is Baron Scum. Be careful that my Cydia's prodigy Palom will assist you. Are these the mages? Yes, this is Palom and Porom. Although still apprentices, they should be of great help. I'm the greatest mage in all of my Cydia. You should be thankful I'm even speaking to you. Adam, I expect you to behave yourself on this journey. My name is Param. Pleased to meet you, sir. Adam, greet properly. Hey, nice to meet you. Black Mage Paladin and White Mage Param have joined the party. Cool. Now, what about our needles? Palam Param, do everything in your power to assist Cecil. So, let me get this straight. I just want to make sure I'm understanding what just happened. Okay. So, tells us that we need to go to the Mountain for Tues so we can, you know, be the one to turn our dark soul to light. The Devil May Cry reference, but still. So we're supposed to change our dark soul into light, right? That's the whole thing. And what they want, and no one who has ever gone there has come back. Everyone always goes there and mysteriously disappears or dies. So they send 2 apprentice children with them. That just seems like a terrible idea. I mean, right? That seems like neglect, child abuse, something similar. I will buy a flame rod. I will buy a healing staff. Now that I have a little bit more use for those things immediately. We'll check out the armor. So, here's the deal. We can't quite use some of the stuff we can. I can use these. I can't use any of that stuff. Flame rod's fine. Silver, Gaia gear, Wizard hat, healing staff, silver armlet, Gaia gear, wizard's hat. And you have nothing you can equip now. Sell. Honestly, at this point, well, maybe not all of the stuff. We'll keep a couple just in case. We don't need the dark sword. We don't need the iron sheet. What the hell? Or the leather caps. I'll keep a couple of leather garbs just in case. We don't need the harp. We don't need the bard tunic. I don't think we'll need the ruby rings. The iron arrow we definitely don't need. Definitely keep the feather caps. We'll keep the iron armament. Kill the bow. We have a crossbow sprung. We don't need dark shield, but we don't need shadow blade anymore either. We'll keep the claws. We definitely want to keep all of everyone also. I think that's good. We can't quite afford any other stuff, but we'll be coming back here. More than likely. So everyone's kind of on the low side. We're basically already level 20, so we're gonna do a little bit of grind here. It's kind of somewhat recommended. But we're kind of gonna head our way over there. Sword rat. Cry? I have to know what cry does. Sorry. Okay, let me do a quick read here. Talk to the Elder. It gives you the mission. Couple of party members. You know, leave. But we recommended that in most versions of the game, you now head to the world map and level up the Twins bit, probably about 17 to 20. We can go to a Chocobo Forest. They restore your MP if needed, which combined with Param's Cure spell gives you free heals, which is very useful for the grind. There's also other items to pick up there, so already have to word you. Everything changed. Rolls. Sword rat. Tiny maid. What does cry do? I have to know. Flustered the enemy. Okay. What does that mean, though? Needle. Windcast. Oh, interesting. So they'll both do. Well, that's cool. That's neat. We're gonna do a little bit of grind here. First, I want to find that Chocobo Forest. A zoo? Oh, is this Monster Hunter? It does kind of look like a Monster Hunter book. Like, actually, though? Looks a little bit like it could be a Monster Hunter enemy. I need to play more Monster Hunter. I haven't played Monster Hunter World in a long time. It's a lot of fun. But Rise is coming out in like a month. Pig? You learned pig? I'm immediately interested. I must know what this pig spell is. Where is this Chocobo? Darkness. Brian's gonna be a link. That's probably the mountain, right? Oh, geez, a lot of some cockatrices as well, which is a little concerning. Assuming they function as they do in every other Final Fantasy game. Youch! Youch! Pyra and Protect. Up a little bit. Aha! Big circular forest. Yes, this is... Chocobo. White Chocobo, gotcha. Flashing light warning. Chocobo, giddy up. Oh yeah, Chocobo. Forms the White Mage? Yes. Well, we found where we need to see. Now, we just kind of do our thing. We're gonna grind them up a bit. We'll probably want to do this closer to the Chocobo Forest, honestly. Right. Turns the target into a pig? I have to see this. I will not get to see this. Pandara and Traktora. 13, that's good. If for whatever reason it's not entirely clear why I want to do this where I am, by the Chocobo Forest. Dang. It's just because they've got the... Right, we can gain our MP back really easily. So it just makes a lot of sense to be here. So we can just kind of constantly use heal and stuff, and then immediately head over and like immediately take like one step down and then get our MP back. That's the whole reason I'm doing it. If that doesn't kill everything. Shock, yeah. I was like, Cecil's like really strong right now. So we'll be doing a lot of damage. Darkness will do absolute wonders for us. Hallam learned Stomp. Level 14. What's a 21 and 214? Okay. We'll go for like another like 2 levels. I think we'll just try to go to like 17 on the kids. Preemptive strike. Please let me turn this thing into a pig. I have to see this. I'm just gonna let him do it. with the timer run. Dang, I missed. I really want to see what the pig looks like, honestly. This is also good though, right? Because it gives us bestiary stuff. Got a couple enemies and some bestiary entries. We might find some rare enemies in here. Oh, probably not. Okay, I was just curious if we would see something else that people know. Nice. Unfortunately, the grind's going to be a little on the slow side here. That's okay. Oh. There'll be a lot of just using darkness. Jeez. You deserve that. You actually deserve that. Put some MP back. This must be an item. Facial. I mean... We have one, though. I can buy more. It's my boy. Fat Chocobo. I love Fat Chocobo. Fat Chocobo's the best. Anyways. Unfortunately, that's the only time I see him. If I head back in there, he won't be there. Essentially, if you're a little confused, Fat Chocobo's just a bank. You can just store items. That's all. Like, genuinely, that's all Fat Chocobo is. Just a bank. You can kind of store some stuff, so you don't have to worry about it as much. You can kind of keep your inventory a little bit on the cleaner side. It's actually kind of nice, but... it doesn't really come up that often. Dang, that's a lot of MP to lose. That time, not as much. Forum learned silent. I think we'll go to like 16. I don't know. The grind just takes so long, is the problem. I mean, it's not like it's hard or anything, it's just time consuming. Because things here don't really give like an absurd amount of experience, so it does take like a lot of fights. That's okay. Needle. Cool. I'll just keep going. I think of things to talk about, but I honestly don't have to talk about. I haven't really been doing anything. So, I was gonna talk about like Marvel Champions. It's a fun game. It's a board game. It's technically a card game. It's a lot of fun, actually. I enjoy it. I've been playing it a lot. Because you can play it solo, so I've been doing a lot of solo stuff with it. And kind of just like trying out some of the champions, trying out different deck build ideas and stuff. It's a lot of fun. I don't know why I've been on like a huge like superhero and card game kick lately, so I've been doing a lot of stuff with that kind of thing. I've been having a lot of fun with it, so. Oh, hold a single target, huh? Guess I'll just cast Protect then. Like, if you don't know too much about it, basically, so it's a co-op card game where you play as, obviously, you know, Marvel heroes. So you build like a deck of Marvel heroes and a bunch of different aspects. By a bunch, there's four. But there's four different things called aspects, which are kind of like the aspects of being a hero. And, each of them do something different, kind of like are like focused on different things for deck building purposes. And so you kind of do that, and you pick one, you pick a hero, and then there's also basic cards which are pretty generalized. You can kind of do just about anything. We'll go 17. That actually wasn't too bad. Put it on mana here. Palom's doing okay. And Palom is... right, so there's like aggression, which is obviously dealing damage. There's what else is there? Aggression for dealing damage. There is justice for dealing with kind of threats and stuff, kind of dealing with the schemes, kind of stopping the plans of the enemy boss. Protection to obviously avoid taking damage, and leadership to have a bunch of allies and stuff. And so you can have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of like different ways you can play all the different heroes. A lot of fun that can be had. It's very neat. I very much enjoy it. It's just a good time. And some of the bosses are really hard to choose to fight, because you choose like a super villain pretty much, and you fight them. Some of them have a whole bunch of phases and a whole bunch of stuff going on. And as they complete their stuff, they get more powerful, and it's just a lot. It can be really tough to get through if you're not careful, or especially when you're playing solo, it can be really hard. Because you're kind of at the will of your hero a lot of the time. And I could go into deck building philosophy and kind of some of the ideas behind deck building and why you would build certain ways, but this isn't what that's about, so I don't want to get too deep into deck building stuff. I've played a lot of card games. Both like deck builder types as well as like actual TCGs and stuff, right? Obviously, I played Legends of Runeterra, and before that I played Hearthstone, I played MTG Arena, I've played Shadowverse as well, and I've enjoyed some of them. To varying degrees. Honestly, Runeterra has been like the most enjoyable like electronic card game, CCG as they're called, that I've played. It's been the most fun I've had. But that's just because I don't particularly like Magic that much. I feel like I've talked about MTG in the past and how kind of my issues with it and how I don't like it too much, because some of the kind of like core things in Magic are like some of the core rules for Magic are just kind of not. We can go for another level here, I think. I'm not gonna worry about Cecil as much. I'm more so worried about the two kids. I'm gonna let them go to 20 or nothing. I'm gonna see how getting to 18 feels, and if getting to 18 takes a while, then we'll stop at 18. But so with card games, right? And Magic especially, right? And it's probably because I came to Magic from Yu-Gi-Oh, which is it's a night and day difference. Those games are incredibly different. And if you've played both, then you probably agree with that assessment. Because they are. They're incredibly different. Yu-Gi-Oh is extremely fast-paced and kind of like all over the place. Right, because there's constant tutors, there's constant like deck searching all the time in Yu-Gi-Oh, special summoning like crazy. Like you're constantly playing like 10, 15 cards in your first turn of Yu-Gi-Oh easily. Sometimes even more. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but it really is though. Like you play a lot of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh, you play them fast. It's just a faster game in general, especially around the time I was playing it. It's even faster now. Because I played it primarily during the XYZ era, and then I kind of stopped during Pendulums because I just didn't like Pendulums that much. I didn't like the way, like I didn't like how much they changed, despite the fact they didn't really change that much. I don't know. I didn't like how fast Yu-Gi-Oh had become at that point. I felt during the XYZ era, it was kind of at a nice middle ground where things were like, you know, like it was fast and you had tutors constantly, like everyone ran tutors, everyone ran all kinds of stuff. If you don't know what a tutor is, don't worry about it. It doesn't particularly matter that much. It's just a term for a particular type of card. Which is not, they like don't exist in MTG at all, so if you play MTG, don't worry about it. And I got nothing against like anyone that does play MTG. Like MTG is fine. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go to 20. That was really fast. I don't have fun playing MTG because I don't like getting mana screwed, and it's so common. It's so easy to get mana screwed in MTG, and I just don't find that fun. And maybe it's just the colors that I play. Maybe I should play different colors, you know. But I don't know. And it feels so slow to me too. Like it's such a slow game. And I played other games that are like pretty similar to MTG. Like Force of Will is very, very similar, but Force of Will is so much faster. And part of it's because Force of Will has tutors. Force of Will has the mana deck separated, so you literally can't have your hand clogged with mana. You don't have that issue that you have in MTG where, oops, I top decked like 15 lands in the last 5 turns. Oh well, I guess I just lose. And that doesn't happen because that's not an issue. In Force of Will, because your mana is separate. You don't have to worry about that. It's literally impossible for you to... Like, you can still get mana screwed in FAO, just because, you know, your mana deck might not, you know, you might not get the particular color manas you need for what's in your hand, right? And that, like, but it doesn't feel as bad, I guess, is kind of the thing. Like, this feels bad in Force of Will, just because it's in Force of Will. It's not clogging up my hand. Like, I don't have to worry about it. So, I don't know. But I've always had an issue having fun in MTG, and I think it's just because like the style of deck I like to play doesn't really exist in MTG either. Because I love graveyard manipulation stuff. I love playing decks that actively want to do something like remove cards from your graveyard and stuff. I love that kind of stuff. I love decks that manipulate graves and manipulate deck size and stuff constantly. And it just doesn't exist in MTG. At least from what I've seen. From the little bit I've played of like MTG Arena, like I couldn't really find anything that did it, so I've had to like look to other things. Like I'm a big fan of like black-red mid-range kind of stuff, like black-red green. Because the Force of Will also had colors. And the colors were generally the same style. Archetype, it was the same colors, and it was like roughly the same kind of idea behind all of them. But like green was a lot of like buffing, white was healing, black was kind of like destruction of stuff, right? Red was just kind of aggro, and kind of black, red, green became a favorite of mine. So being pretty fun mid-range style deck. Like black, red, green mid-range is just a lot of fun to me. But it's hard to do it in an MTG, I feel. And maybe I'm looking at the wrong cards, right? Maybe that's changed, right? Because I've tried to play MTG a couple of times. I don't know. It's been a few years since the last time I tried, and I kind of have like some interest in maybe giving it another shot. But at the same time, I also can't be bothered. It's one of those things where, like, if I had MTG Arena installed on my computer right now, I'd probably give it a shot and play some rounds of it. But I don't actively have MTG Arena installed on my computer. I have to go and get it, and that step is more than I want to put in. But no, I'm probably not going to enjoy my time. And part of it's also just, you know, the inherent grind of something like MTG Arena. Right. I know there's other ways to play MTG online, but I'd rather stick with the official format, right? Because I don't know MTG well enough to be able to play on some of the other options available. Just because I don't know rulings, I don't know the timings nearly as well. I'm usually pretty good at card games and like reading card game terminology and text. With Force of Will, I did play tournament a lot. There were locals near me that did like weekly Force of Will tournaments. They did like 2 a week for a while, and I would show up like every week and play in one of the 2 days like every week for a while. And I spent a lot of time in like judge stuff, so I could like make sure I know the rules and know how things work, and constantly reading particular stuff to make sure things work the way that they do and whatnot. Just so I knew how the game worked, because I enjoy that stuff. I like knowing how card games work. So I feel like I'm relatively literate with card games and can pretty quickly and easily understand card game rulings and what is intended by text, because sometimes that is not easy to understand. And it's something with Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I played tournament Yu-Gi-Oh! For a little bit too, at the same place. They would do Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. I think they still do Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournaments. In fact, but I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore, so I don't go with any of their stuff. I don't play any like physical TCG card games anymore. Fortunately, the Force of Will tournaments kind of died out, and I think part of it was kind of just scheduling things. If I'm being honest, they kind of did some dumb scheduling stuff. I feel because like I knew that most of the Force of Will players were also big on MTG. And so they ran some MTG stuff at the same time they ran Force of Will, and kind of, oh wow, back attack. That's the first time I've seen that in this game. And they scheduled it, because it was like right around the release of a set. I don't remember what the set was. I don't keep up with MTG stuff at all, so I have no reason to know or really care. Oh, there goes money. Alright, let's do a quick store up of everyone, get all of our MP back, and we'll head on out for but they were doing like, I don't remember if it was like a draft. I think it was a draft. I think they were doing a draft for the new set, like the day it came out or whatever. This was at the same time as a Force of Will tournament. Like same day, same time, and like unsurprisingly, nobody showed up for the Force of Will. Well, what are you waiting for? Yeah, keep your hat on. Blizzard! And, like, no one showed up for Force of Will, everyone was playing MTG, and then, like, for the next, like, 2 weeks, they scheduled, like, the new sets, the new MTG sets, like, stuff. Too easy. Whack. Hell, and the elder taught us not to submit to arrogance. Please forgive his antics. And, like, no one would show up to Force of Will stuff, ever, and then... Meanwhile. And then the shop that ran it just kind of stopped running it. Come forth, scum, blah, blah. Carmiglion? Carmiglion. Yes. Carmiglion of Earth at your command. Cecil aspires too much. He ascends my ordeals as we speak. How do you know that? I shall clip his wings. Oh, he desires to become a paladin. Dispose of him. His dark sword should be all but useless against your undead. I shall return with his head. Make sure that you do. Yes, sir. How do you know that? How do you know I'm doing this? This is getting interesting, wouldn't you say, Kane? Cecil might still prove to be quite a formidable opponent. You dare question my judgment? Scott Miglione is one of the 4 elemental lords. He will not fail. Rosa and I will delight in watching Cecil's demise. Sire, please grant me a second chance. Let Scott Miglione allow me the task of slaying him. Just be grateful I let you live after your little blunder. Cecil. Right. Yeah, so that was the thing that they did, and I was a little upset about it. Because I loved playing Force of Will. It was such a fun game. But unfortunately it ended up kind of just dying out around me, so I kind of stopped playing it because there was literally no way for me to play it anymore. I didn't have anyone to play with. Tournaments were done. They stopped running them in favor of MTG stuff, and it sucks. But there's nothing you can do about it. And there's not really a way to play Force of Will online easily, so here we are. Me sitting here going, man, I wish I could play one of my favorite card games. Because it was my favorite card game. Well, honestly, it still has my favorite deck of any card game I've ever played. Just an Allosaurus deck. I think I talked about this before too, that Allosaurus kind of mid-range is my favorite deck of all time that I've ever played in any card game. Entirely because it does exactly what I said that I really enjoy. It's like deck manipulation and graveyard manipulation. That deck is entirely based around... Sorry, I have to like actually check some stuff. Okay. Ugh. Okay. So I want to use magic break. But so it's a deck where kind of like its whole gimmick is you want stuff in your graveyard because with everything in your graveyard, you can then like actually do stuff. Oh, does Twin Cast overrule Harem's casting? Yes, it does. Okay. Good to know. So if one of them is currently casting a spell, Twin Cast will override. I know. But so it's a deck that like you wanted to get stuff into your graveyard so you could literally remove it from the game to play other cards. Which also existed in like one of my first real Yu-Gi-Oh decks too. Oh hi, are you Tella? Tella? You are. Cecil? What brings you here? Wait. You seek Meteor as well. Meteor? If you know about Meteor. That means you're Tella. Hey, old man. Am I right? Don't be rude. You stand before the great sage himself. Honor to meet you. Came here from my city on the orders of our elder. Yeah, we're spying on... Please excuse him. As I was saying, we're serving as guides for Sir Cecil. My name is Porum. I am Palom, a city's most exalted mage. I've heard a lot about you. Kids from my city, eh? But where are Rydia and Edward? We were attacked by Leviathan on our way to Baron. What? They aren't dead, are they? I can't say for sure, but I fear the worst. On top of that, Golbez has captured Rosa. I'll bet you that's his girlfriend. Shh. I thought you'd headed straight to Baron to confront Golbez. My magic still lacks the power to defeat him, so I came here to find the legendary spell Meteor. I sense a strong aura on this mountain. I believe it holds what I am looking for. But I suppose that's too dangerous. It requires tremendous vitality. Man your age. I admit I am old, but one old man's life is a fair price to pay to bring down Golbez. Jeez, why are adults so pig-headed? Understand, because you're still a kid. Now hush. Cecil, you don't have to answer my question. Why did you come here? I came here in hopes of becoming a paladin. I cannot defeat Golbez with the dark sword. I long to renounce this hateful thing. Who's Golbez? Don't you know anything? He's one controlling Baron. He is no ordinary man, but a powerful sorcerer whose evil grows by the second. So, Cecil, you're here to become a paladin. This mountain must hold some secret after all. I should accompany you. Say, Chella joined the party. Again. Alright. Sorry, just making sure I know what's going on here. Alright. Alright. Making sure I know what's going on here. So Chella's gonna be in an awkward spot because it's not a good way to position, I guess. Well, actually, no, there is. We can, if we go to order here, we can actually do something like this, and then flip it. And now all of the mages are in the back row, and Cecil's in the front. You can take the extra, that's fine. Silver armament. We're wearing Gaia gear already. There's a feathered cat for you, sir. And there we go. If I remember right, Tella has both white and black, yeah. Okay, what level is he? 24? He's actually about our level. Not bad. There's the two chests. Go ahead and grab those. What was I saying? I think I was talking about Elisar's next. No matter. Have at thee! Oh, okay. Those are immune to fire. Good to know. They get healed by fire damage. Darkness. Ooh, dang, let's have a lot of health. Ooh, that might actually heal them by a lot. Oh, never mind. Pyro's not considered fire damage. Hey, he's still level 24. Hey, experienced warrior as well. That is an achievement. Killing 500 enemies. Yeah, that's fine. The hope is that we kill the ghoul, or I guess the soul, before we cast it. Oh, actually, it might not get healed. No, it did. It's fine. It's dead anyways. Yeah, no, so Elisar's though, right? It was green, black, and red, and it was a mid-range deck. It was all about removing stuff from your graveyard to play big cards and do big effects. And I loved it. It was... Oh, stop that. Stop what? So we're definitely going to use an item here. Definitely want to use our 10. When I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! As well again, after being a child, when I got back into it, which was during XYZ era, I actually started by playing Chaos Dragon, and that became one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks. Which is also a deck all about manipulating your graveyard. Who'd have thought? Honestly, just let the kids go. I have a feeling that their twin cast will probably kill everything. No reason to waste MP here. Yeah. I am noticing that twin cast does also take MP. I said stop it! It's not mean! Oh, chill. I sense an evil presence. I will enjoy killing you. Who's there? Yeah, I definitely... like a lot, but... Huh? Duh! Under Master Golbez's orders, I, Scarmiglion of Earth, will deliver you unto the gates of hell. Branded hunger for your flesh. Alright. Let the battle begin. Alright. Tail will probably be the healer here while the kids do twin cast. Thunder! Kyora! Yoshe Kage Kyora! Alright, that should actually probably kill all of the Skullknots. And now we can focus all of our efforts into this nerd. Scarmiglion. The big old twin cast. Thunder! Thunder! Man, he acts fast. Thunder! I don't know if it's like a counterattack or if he actually does attack really quick. Thunder! It certainly feels like he attacks fast. I'm curious. Some more Yoshe Kage Kyora. What is happening to me? Hallam learned Toad. Which is like pig, but better. Alright. I'm not gonna lie. This is a bit of a, little bit of a foreshadowing. Fools. My true strength lies in death. Join me in hell. Because he back attacks us. So, a little bit of this is my true form. Die. Yeah, so that's what goes on there. And hence why I did the back attack. Or why I sent everyone into the back row. Ooh, common. Hella's actually running out of mana here. But it seems like I won't need him as much for that. I guess we can always use Osmos if we need to as well. Fire. Oh. Breathe deep and walk as the undead. First damage. Pyro! Wow, that was really easy. That's funny. As an undead form. The second Scarmiglion boss battle means you can use fire, but also actually curative magic, because he's undead. Because Cecil's Dark Sword isn't very useful against him, Cecil can actually do more damage by using potion items on the boss. Yeah, no, these are not difficult, but yeah. Okay. Getting 2,500 money from that. How could I possibly lose? Oh, we have a poisoned party member. I have an item for this. My bad, Forum. I kind of forgot you were poisoned. My son. Son, just who are you? Long have I awaited you. Much sorrow have I endured. I shall now entrust you with my strength. In doing so, my pain grows. But, other way. Break from your past and overcome the darkness. Only then will you receive the holy power. You must defeat the dark knight within you. Huh? What's going on? There are two of them. Cecil! Hey! Look out! Stay back. This is my battle, when I must fight alone to atone for my wrongs. Alright, 1 second.
Up.
Alright. Darkness. Ow. What white magic do I know? Cool. Don't have a lot of MP though. This is supposedly what you are meant to do. There's more at stake than justice or truth. One day, you will see. Now go, seek what you must. Cool. You have done well. My spirit will become light. That light will be your strength. With it, you must stop Goldbez. Farewell, son. Go, don't go. All the colors of the rainbow.
Cecil has become a paladin.
We did it. We became a paladin. Cool. Are you alright? You must be calm enough. This feeling, I can't explain it. It feels so familiar in that voice. Oh my. Mr. Tell? My spells! I remember them now. I remembered all of his spells. Teor? That light. Somehow it broke the seal upon a meteor. Tella has learned meteor. Oops. Good job, Tella. He's indeed a great sage. Hey, Param, I think it's time we... Cecil? Let's tell you something. We're actually... I am ready to face Gorbez. I am doom itself. Come, Cecil, to Baron. Yes, the Baron. That light. Why did it call me son? Hey, wait up. Are you coming? Yes. Good job, Cecil. The light's chosen. First things first. What's the order? Is that it? Students attack white magic cover. And what magic does Cecil know? Cure and only cure. That is okay. He is level 1. Oh! Alright, well, maybe like that. That's okay. So technically, I don't actually have equipment for him. We have the gauntlets, but we don't actually have... We have the light shield. So, that light armor and stuff, yeah, that's for paladins. I didn't have the money for it then, though. But we do now. So, we'll be sure to use it. Oh, everyone's already full. Nope, twin cast. Oh my goodness! You have so many spells, my man. You've been holding out on us. Now that Cecil has a sword of holy light, he's actually going to be somewhat useful against undead enemies now. God, paladins are so cool. I love paladins. I'm a big fan of paladin. Yeah, Cecil's level 8 now. One fight and he just gains 7 whole up. That's not great. He's gonna level up really, really fast. Kind of like catch back up. He'll be really, really fast. Slap? Bruh. Fire! This is not level. I'm trying to think how much farther I want to go. Because obviously we're definitely gonna head back to Do you know pig? Because obviously we're gonna head back to my city. We're gonna do some buying stuff. We might do a little bit of grinding. But I think that's probably a little here going into section 8. Because this looks like that might be a little of like a while to get through. Or just to get to. We have to return to Baron and everything. That might take a hot minute. So I'll think of it. Plus my throat kinda hurts. All of the voicing and stuff. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be kinda nice to get out of games like this where I can do all of the voicing and stuff and actually like just speak. Or just stop speaking. It'll be nice when we get to games that are already voice acted. Or at least go back to games that are voice acted, so I don't have to worry about it as much. And I know, you know, drink water and whatever, but part of it's just the voices I choose are not necessarily like bad for me, but they definitely make me need like more on the waterfront than I normally would. So, but I mean, like I've basically gone through like half my water bottle in the last like 30 minutes. I just don't particularly drink, like, anything particularly fast. I don't, like, chug for water. Streaming definitely makes me probably should. How much money do we have? Jeez, we're loaded. Alright, we're just gonna take a chocobo back then. Thank you for the MP. Chocobo, giddy up. If we don't know how chocobos work, this thing from last game, Final Fantasy III. When you do the chocobo stuff, you just can't be attacked. It's just a way to walk around the world without getting attacked, which is great for if you're trying to like travel back to somewhere or whatever, like we are here. We're obviously heading back to Mysidia because we've already been here, so really quickly check the armor or the weapons. I'll actually take that. Flame rod. Okay, we're loaded. I'm not gonna worry too much about money situation. I'm loving the music here, by the way, too. Actually, okay. This might sound weird, but it gives me, like, Shantae vibe. Like, it reminds me a lot of Shantae's music. And I had a lot of fun with Shantae. It's such a fun game. Highly recommend Shantae if you've never played it. Just a fun, like, kind of Metroid-y platformer. I got Metroidvania / like platformer. It's a lot of fun. Okay. So that's that. How's everyone doing? How expensive is it to rest at the 50? Well, I'll be Hornswoggle. Get it. Alright. Hey, watch this. I'm getting sleepy. You require much training. Oh my god. I love that. Those are some great sprites. Anyways, thankfully Palom knows pig, so we're totally fine, but I love that everyone has like their own individual pig sprite. That's funny. Please move it. Please move it. Thank you. City of Mages out here blocking my path and stuff. Never forgive, never forget. Death to Baron. Honestly, though, they deserve it, though. They really. Much is it? 200 gil a night? Jeez. Why is it so expensive? You could literally just go to Baron and spend 50 gold. 50 gil. All set. Man, I love the Paladin sprite in this game, actually. I mean, all the sprites are great, but I actually really like the Paladin sprite for Cecil here. Really good. Talk to the Elder, I think. Unbelievable! You have succeeded! Sir Cecil fought brilliantly. I'll say, he passed with flying colors. Again. Forgive me, I assigned them to spy on you. That pretty much sums it up. So awful having deceived you, I'm so sorry. I suspected as much, but I deserved it after what I did. The most important thing is that you have become a paladin and are now free of the darkness of your past. That sword, where did you obtain it? It was given to me on the mountain's peak. Is this? Yes, it is. This sword is inscribed with the words of an ancient Mysidian legend. Legend? One born of a dragon, bearing darkness and light, will rise to the heaven, over the still land. The moon's light eternal brings promise to earth with bounty great. Alright, can you explain that to me? I'm not much of a poet. I'm sure. Then perhaps you can answer me this. What was the light I saw at Mount Ordeals? Or then perhaps you can answer me this. What was the light I saw at Mount Ordeals? Sun, it called me. I'm afraid I do not know the answer. Legend's meaning remains a mystery. For generations, we Mysidians have prayed for the coming of one who bears the sacred light. Perhaps those prayers were for you. Enough chatter. We must go and defeat Golbez. Terra? It's been a while. I have him Mount Ordeals. And guess what? Your man learned to cast Meteor. Meteor? Seal has been broken. It was on the brink of a great change. I care little for the world's troubles. I only wish to avenge Hana. Hana? Daughter? Golbez took her life, and I intend to use a meteor to take his.
tell you must not fight with hatred. Moreover, you are in no condition to use media. If I die, so be it. I will take Goldbear with me. Still stubborn as a mule, I see. Heh, only you're one to talk. Nevertheless, with your spells and Cecil's newfound power, may be able to defeat him. Be that as it may, we must return to Baron to commandeer an airship first. Very well, I shall grant you access to the Devil's Road. As a paladin, I am certain you can safely travel its mythical path. Now it is time to retire from the town of worship. I shall pray for your success. Thank you. Adam, Thorm, return to your studies. No fair, you told us to help any way we can. We still have a job to do. Elder, please allow us to accompany him. Very well. We'll both overcome the mountain's trials and return to life. Perhaps this is your fate. Cecil, Tella, please look after them. But you saying you don't want us tagging along? I'm sure we can still be of assistance. Don't worry, old friend, I will keep an eye on them. Then it's agreed. I'm sure we can make a great team. Alright. This isn't going to be some kind of picnic. Interested in what orders in the east of town. Adam, Torum, please return safely. Good luck to you. Alright, let's go see him. Is he napping away? The crystal. I'm sorry. I saw a man's come up here. To it. I don't want to disturb what they're doing. Don't mess with that. Seem like they're doing the thing that they doing. I'm not gonna question what that is. Different customs and whatnot. We'll just leave them to it. They can do whatever. All right. We are allowed to use the Devil's Road. I don't know if I should. This will take me straight into Baron. Alright, here's the deal. I think this is what we're gonna do here. I'm gonna get out of this town. And we'll play the game. First and foremost. Whoops. I will do that at least once every time. Now that we have ourselves a paladin here, level 23 is our highest level, or not our highest level, it's our front level though. Cecil is only level 13. It might be worth doing a little bit of grinding, but at least bring him up to like 15 or something. He does have a lot of health though, right? He's like level 13 of like the higher class, quote unquote. Well, technically Dark Knight's probably a higher class of a paladin as far as Final Fantasy is concerned, but let's not worry about that. So I think here's the play. I think the play is we're gonna call it here because the next section looks like it's going to take a hot minute. For a few reasons, but we'll get to those reasons tomorrow. We made it through another few sections of the game here, right? We are heading into section 8. Yesterday we came into 4 out of 8. Or actually we ended at going into 4, right? So I think it's only reasonable that we kind of keep it up like this. Right, we get through about 3 full sections. Right, 4, 5, 6, no, about 4 full sections today, right? Because we went through 4, 5, 6, 7 all entirely, and so now all we have to do is head over to Baron. So we've bought all the stuff we need to from this area. I mean, we might want to go hit the general shop. We've bought all the weapons and armor we can that we need. Everyone's equipped up, so I think we'll call it there. That seems like a good ending. So we'll come back tomorrow, coming in at section 8, turn to Baron. So we have an optional section after we do all the Baron stuff. We have like an actual real mandatory thing. mandatory thing, which seems like a really long one. Another relatively long one. Another optional section. Then third optional section after a mandatory, and then the 2 final sections ending the game. Which final section's going to. That's okay. That's usually how it goes with these games. I feel like it typically is usually like, oh, but here's this really long area. So we'll end it here though. I'll go through the whole. Okay, so you don't know. There's VODs. Exclamation point VODs. Pull it up. But I mean, that's all there is to it, really. There's also links. All the VODs go there at 12 p.m. EST next day. I think I forgot to say it yesterday, but here we are today saying it, so it doesn't matter. I'll be back tomorrow. More Final Fantasy IV. We'll continue on. We'll go back to Baron. We'll attempt to commandeer an airship, or at least get one made for us. I don't actually really know what our plan here is, but we're gonna go find Sid and talk to him. Was I believe the plan here, right? Go to Baron, talk to Sid, and have him help us either steal one or build us one. And then we'll have an airship. Other than that, that's all I got. Trying to think. Anything else that I need to mention? I don't think so. As far as weekend is concerned, with which I'll probably say again tomorrow, with like some fighting game streams and stuff, probably won't happen. It is my semester started today, which I think is silly that it started today, and not on Monday next week or Monday this week. Why did it start in the middle of the week? I don't know. And it ends in the middle of the week, so like it ends on a Tuesday. It's like, what up with that? But whatever, it's fine. It doesn't matter. I just think it's a little silly. But it's okay. As far as that's concerned, though, right? Because it is technically my first week of the semester, I'm going to be doing kind of a lot of just like stuff to get prepped up for that stuff. I'm going to do some like looking around and stuff and see what I'm actually doing this week, and I'll have a little bit more of an idea after I see what I need to actually get done this week. So otherwise, that's all I got. So I'll be back tomorrow. We'll continue our adventure in Final Fantasy IV, and then hopefully some great things can happen. I don't know. After 4, as I said, we might take a quick little break. I'll do another kind of do what I've been doing. Right, do like a week between I play like Hades or Guilty Gear or something. Right, I've kind of been doing that a little bit. Doing a lot of the Final Fantasies. Just kind of taking a week to play something else. Something that's not like super serious. I can just kind of pop in and be like, hey, we're playing this, and then play it, and then and then come back to Final Fantasy, just to make sure that I'm not like burning myself out too much with it. Because these games are kind of long, right? It's a lot of time to get through Final Fantasy games, especially these older ones. I mean, like they're relatively. These ones are short compared to some of the later ones, right? 5 and 6 will probably take us actually a decent amount of time. But as it stands right now, that's kind of where I am. So, but anyways, as I said, I'll be back tomorrow. So, until then.